3, 4.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to Rowan Temple of Lights under the Rowan Tree. I am your hostess, Lady Gwendolyn, and it's solstice time. So this is going to be a solstice themed show tonight, and I'm going to talk about a couple different things for this holiday season. Now, normally, the past couple of years, I have went through and posted videos every day with the 12 Nights of Yule and things of that nature. I am not going to go through that again this year. So we're just going to talk about it on the show. And we're going to make our own solstice incense tonight. And I've got some crystals for the solstice that we're going to talk about, and do like a little crystal healing ritual, and a couple topics of discussion. One being my favorite holiday season topic: monsters of Christmas folklore. And I love the beings. I do. Oh, so, and by the way, we are broadcasting on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok tonight, and I want to share my holiday shirt. It says, "We wish you a Merry Solstice." And I did pick this up from one of the vendors from the Yule Ball and Market. And or a hoodie like this, then just send us a message. I'm going to put you in contact with the creator. So also want to do a little bit of divination tonight as well. I do have the magical Nordic tarot out and the yes no coin. The reason being, uh Nordic and Celtic traditions really run high. Like Eastern European traditions are the ones that we primarily know and focus on during this time of year. So I felt like that would be appropriate to do a reading from. The yes no is if you have your own question, it'll be a yes no, and you can interpret that for yourself. So let's get started. Coffee tonight is in the mug. I got to show you guys this. It says naughty, nice, or I tried. I tried. I did. I truly did. I gave it all I had in 2023. I'll be honest with you. I am spent, y'all. Strained. But I believe we only have one more episode of Under the Rowan Tree in the year. So we're gonna make the most of these. And we'll be back in January doing these as well. Okay, so first off, let's talk what the solstice is. First off, welcome to the longest nights of the year. This is whenever we are at our darkest time. So we talked last week a little bit about setting our goals. And now is the time, if you choose to reflect on those. Are these the goals that you short? Because you've had time to sit with them. So do you really want what goals you put down? Now, what I had drawn up that I showed you, one of the members of the community actually stepped up and created it for me. If you go over to the website, my website, ladygwendolynhealing.com, or the Rowan Temple of Light Facebook page, you will see the blog there that links to the website. And it goes into details in that blog about how to use the diagram if you want to go back and do that. If you haven't yet. Highly suggest it. It is very good practice. And I think maybe after either next week or after the first of the year is when we'll turn it into a vision board. So yes, I'm doing the work too. I'm not just out here willy-nilly telling you to do something. I practice what I preach. I do. So solstice, the winter solstice. This is just the balance between the light and the dark. And right now we are in the dark phase. Um so then we have Yule that starts. Technically Yule starts tonight, the 12 days of Yule. Traditionally on December 20th, it is Mother's Night. So you would traditionally honor the mother. So you would do things just like you would on Mother's Day. This is Mother's Night, a time to make her feel special. This is an honoring night. And this is what I love, absolutely love about the Norse tradition and the 12 days of Yule is it is sacred to everything. Now I do have notes all over the place, so I'm going to get that. Okay. So we also have Saturnalia. Ho 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 ho. Saturnalia. So this is where we kind of celebrated. We called it the Yule Ball, but it's really celebrating as a Saturnalia festival type thing because for Saturnalia, it's partying, it's drinking, it's being festive, it's enjoying life and just being open and being yourself. And if you get a little drunk and have a little bit of debauchery, then so be it. Hail Saturnalia. Um, so back in Roman times during Saturnalia, they had a Lord of Misrule. So basically, a prankster that would go around and be the starter of all the mischief and get people to start partying and loosening up and dropping down their guard. And so that's that. So whenever you're having your parties, that is rooted in tradition for Saturnalia. Okay. Hmm, so mistletoe kind of holds one of my favorite stories for the season. I am very much associated. I don't none of us truly know why certain deities or entities are um, with us, but they are. Anyway, Balder has always been right by my side. Now he is the bringer of the light bringer. If you were to compare Christianity and Norse mythology, then Balder would also kind of dub as Lucifer if you cross those paths. Just saying. But Balder was the most beautiful, and when he was just a baby, his mother took him around to everyone and asked them to promise not to harm him. And she did this so at a time in the season to where mistletoe was not in bloom. And Loki knew this. So in that process, once Balder was older, Loki tricked Hod, a blind deity, one of their brothers, to shoot an arrow of mistletoe at Balder, and it killed him. So I know that's not really a festive story, and you know what? There really isn't any exciting and happy stories in regards to this season. I know everyone has made it festive and exciting and oh holly and jolly and everything, and I get that. Um, but that leads to the monsters and traditions of Christmas. So, like I said, I have notes, and across the screen, if you are watching on Facebook and YouTube, you will see I have given credit to atlasobscura.com. Yes, atlasobscura.com. And this is based off of one of their articles. But I thought it was wonderful information and I wanted to share because it talked about so many. Story time. All right. So in Icelandic tradition, there are three main ones. There's Grilla, who is an ogre and has an appetite for the flesh of mischievous children, whom she cooks in a large pot. Her husband is lazy and mostly stays at home in their cave. So she's the one that's out there doing all the hard work. Um, the Yule Cat, which I prefer the Yule Cat to all of these. The Yule Cat is a huge, ambitious cat who lurks about in the countryside during Christmas Eve or Yule and eats people who have not received any new clothes to wear before Christmas Eve. Now, the thing about that, the reason behind the receiving of the clothes is if they have actually earned them. So if you have worked hard, so the Yule Cat is associated with hard work. Why would you associate a cat with hard work? They lay around and sleep, right? Well, this is a very large cat. So, but that's how it goes. The Yule Cat is associated with hard work. So if you have worked your hiney off all year long, then you have earned the right to buy new clothes or to receive new clothes as a gift. So if the Yule Cat comes and looks and you have not received clothing as a gift or you are not wearing new clothes, it will eat the children. That's what the Yule Cat. Which then comes to my favorite, the sons of Grilla and her husband, the Yule Lads. Okay, so pretext. They are a group of 13 mischievous pranksters who steal from or otherwise harass the population. I totally get down with the Yule Lads. And I will give you the information about them as to who they are and what they are about. Because each has a descriptive name to convey their favorite way of causing mischief. They arrived one by one over the 13 nights leading up to Christmas or Yule. They leave small gifts in shoes that children place on windowsills, although a disobedient child will instead find a rotten potato in their shoe. And some of these names I'm preparing you now are very interesting. Okay, so the first one that actually starts arriving on the 12th. So the Yule lads have already begun their work. But they are in their stage from December the 12th through December 25th. Okay. So if you are experiencing these types of events, this may be a Yule lad. Okay. Um, sheep coat clod. Sheep coat clod. Okay. He harasses sheep, but is impaired by his stiff peg leg. His stiff peg leg. But he harasses sheep. So if you have sheep and they are causing a ruckus, could be a Yule lad. Gully Gawk. GULLYGAWK. All right. Hides in gullies, waiting for the opportunity to sneak into a cow shed and steal milk. So if you have a dairy farm and milk is coming up missing, could be Gully Gawk. So his dates are from December 13th to December 26th. Are you seeing the pattern here? Stubby. Now I am giving the English translation. I do not speak in any language associated with Iceland, so I am not even going to attempt it and therefore butcher it. I'm not that type. So English version. Stubby. Abnormally short, steals pans for the bits stuck to bottoms and brims. So steals your pots and pans. So if you're cooking and getting prepared for dinner and you're noticing some of your pots and pans are missing, Stubby took them. December 14th to December 27th. Spoon liquor. SPOON liquor. LICKER. Steals wooden spoons being used for cooking and extremely thin from malnutrition. So he's desperately trying to nurture himself. December 15th through December 28th. Pot scraper. Pot scraper. POTSCRAPER. Steals pots to scrape out the leftovers. So you think about it, the Yule lads may very well just be mischievous because they're out there trying to steal to bring food back for their family because there are 13 of them and all they have is their mother going out because their father is lazy and just lays in the cave all the time and won't do anything to contribute to the household. You know, this This is my thing with villains. They are often so much misunderstood. And my heart breaks for the Yule lads. Okay, all right, back to it. So we had pot scraper, right? Bowl liquor. Bowlicker. Bowl liquor. Hides under the beds, waiting the wooden food bowls placed on the floor. So once you are done eating, again, they are looking for food. They are willing to take nourishment from any source. So bad. December 17th through December 30th. Door slammer. Now, again, so my thing with door slammer, would it be a Yule lad or is it an entity or a spirit? Okay. Enjoy slamming doors, especially during the night, waking up the household. See? Which one is it? What could it be? So that is from December 18th through December 31st. That is that time period. Okay. I may butcher this, but skyr, gobbler, Skyr, gobbler, Gobbler. Now, has a great affinity for skyr, whatever, a regional style of yogurt. So again, it's all about food. They just want fed. December 19th through January the 1st is that time period. Sausage swiper. Hides in the rafters and snatches sausages that are being smoked. December 20th, which would be now, through January 2nd. So if you are smoking sausages for the season, for the holiday, leave one out as an offering for the Yule lad so that they are not stealing yours. Be mindful. Window peeper. A snoop who looks through windows in search of things to steal. So this one isn't even really bothering with food. He is just like, I am going to take anything I can and then sell it so that I can get the needs. Everybody else is worried about the food. I'm going to take care of the other needs in the household, right? December 21st through January 3rd. So he comes tomorrow. So make sure that your wards and your protections are up so that this particular Yule lad with window peeper, keep your windows drawn so he doesn't come in and steal anything from you. Oh my goodness. Doorway sniffer. Doorway sniffer has a extremely large nose and a very specific sense of smell. But he uses it to locate leaf bread or loffen bread from the region. So anyway, he comes in. His dates are December 22nd through January the 4th. Meat hook. He uses a hook to steal meat. So again, leave an offering if you are making meat or dinner around the 22nd. When is the 22nd? Friday. Um, from Friday on, leave an offering. Uh, Candle beggar follows children to steal their no. Candle beggar follows children to steal their precious candles made of tallow and thus edible. So, if you have any candles, make sure they're not the edible kind and you'll be fine. But anyway, candle beggars dates are December 24th through January the 6th. And January the 6th is on a Saturday. That is also La Befana Day, which I will get to her momentarily. I need to take a drink. Not nighty, not naughty, not nice. I tried. Before we get into the Christmas monsters, I want to get the energy flowing. So we'll get the incense started. First thing, heat proof, well, fireproof bowl. Tonight, because we are using loose herbs, I'm using a charcoal disc. Now, some friends of mine own a shop and creates all kinds of things. This one is actually their Good Vibrations Loose Incense. A balanced blend of dried rose, lavender, rosemary, and damania. Oh, it smells so good. But I thought that this would be perfect because of the solstice. So the solstice is the longest night, but it is also the representation of bringing back the sun. So we want to bring back the sun and these good vibrations and these energies. So, yes, rose, lavender, rosemary, and demonia. So, yeah. And the other that I'm going to add to it is actually peppermint. And peppermint represents sleep because we really need to be resting during this time, love and healing. So let me just add that to this mixture, mix it all up. So here's our little magic for the night. Spirits of the solstice, we call you and honor you throughout the darkness and ready to emerge from the shadows into the light once more. We honor you and call you forth to give us some healing, some peace, some beauty, and for the love of everything, we need some happiness. As we will it, so mote it be. Oh, that smells so good. Mm. That smells really good, y'all. And if you are listening, this will be up on my Spotify podcast, Lady Gwendolyn Healing. So you will be able to listen to this or view it on YouTube after this broadcast is over. So next thing we want to do, we want to cleanse. Um, because we are getting our fresh start. I feel like our new year should really start at the winter solstice. Because that's when the sun turns and starts coming back. So it gives birth and rejuvenation and the change, and that's what these crystals are representing. So the selenite is, or the satin spar, whichever one you have and you choose to use, is actually good for cleansing and starting over and getting that energy right. The other stone, and it just so happens to be my absolute favorite, is labradorite. So you see that flash in there, right? So labradorite is the stone of change and transformation. So if you have that, work with it. Um, and we are embracing the energy of the labradorite tonight, um, to bring in that change that we need. And finally, the last one, and I apologize, I only have a small piece of it, but it is carnelian. And carnelian represents the sun and the beauty and the happiness and that energy that we need to really open up our hearts and our heart chakras to expand and not limit ourselves. And I feel like that is a lesson that we need to learn going into 2024. And I am adding more to the charcoal disc because that just smells divine. You'll see the smoke start to rise up. I love sacred smoke, and um I have had past episodes like back in 2020 of Under the Rowan Tree where I talked about sacred smoke and smokable herbs, and I will do that again. All right, so now that we're cleansed, let's talk monsters. Yeah, I'm getting comfortable for this one. Ugh. So, the first one on the list is my favorite, Krampus. Ooh. So, what does it say about Krampus? Um, Santa's European counterpart and earliest incarnation from Saint Nicholas brings something other than just presents to your house. He brings along a demonic sidekick, Krampus. While the good children get gifts from Saint Nicholas, Krampus is given leave to mercilessly beat naughty ones, shove them into his sack, and carry them promptly to hell. Again, Krampus. Krampus is my favorite. If you know me. The next one is Marlad. And this all comes from the link that I have, atlasobscura.com. This all comes there. This is credit to them. Um, And I think it's funny. This is Marlad. They called the Marlad the Christmas zombie horse. All right, let me read to you what it says. This macabre skeleton mare of Welsh tradition rises from the dead and wanders the streets with her attendants, who are all fresh from the grave, to remind the living of their existence. Marilod has only one goal in mind: to get into your house. To keep the zombie horse out, you must engage in a battle of wits. In rhyme, no less. Usually on New Year's Eve, where the undead mare is represented by a puppeteer parading a horse skull on a pole draped in a white cloth. So I think that this is a tradition that absolutely needs to be brought back. And it has been gaining more popularity in the past couple of years. But I think we need it locally. Absolutely. Next one is the Great La Befana, and she is I call her the Christmas witch. In Italy, Russia, and parts of Europe, we encounter a witch-like lady rooted in the fairy tale figure of Mother Holly, who doles out punishments for the lazy and riches for the hardworking. In Italy, she is known in La Befana; in Russia, Babushka. Each January, she packs up and sets off on a broomstick to join the three kings who are also seeking the Christ child. She searches every house, and if she finds the child there, she leaves cookies and gifts behind. So our group kind of holds La Befana Day um, as our end of season time to get together and celebrate. But yes, La Befana. And okay, straggle. Let me tell you how it's spelled. Straggele. Straggelli? But there would be the picture. Who is Straggelli? In many places, such as Switzerland, uh, Perchecha rides with a throng of demonic looking helpers known as Straggle, who love to partake in the feast offerings left out for them on Christmas by people hoping for purchased blessing of wealth and health in the new year. In some places, Straggles get to dole out punishments themselves and aren't horribly discerning as they rob all bad children and tear them to pieces in the air. Suggestion. Suggestion. Mind your business and behave. Ah, the Tompton. So if you are familiar with any of these, give me a like, give me a comment, something if you are familiar with any of these. The Tompton. A creature from Scandinavian folklore who bears resemblance to a gnome and lives among the dead inside burial grounds. The Tompton acts as caretakers, protectors, and helper of the household. That is, if you do not anger them. The Tompton have quite a temper and is known for driving people insane with his tricks or biting them. And get this, their bites are poisonous, which leads to death. Do you really want to die? Just leave out an offering. Leave out an offering every night between now and January the 6th. That's just all I can tell you to do. You should have started on the 12th or on the 5th, Krampus night, but it's never too late to start. So do it now. Next one is Belsnickel. Now, Belsnickel and Krampus are kind of the same. Um, they are both German. The Belsnickel is more German, Pennsylvania Dutch. So close area. Belsnickel shows up couple of weeks before Christmas, filthy and dressed in rags and furs to beat the children who have misbehaved. As in 1872, Philadelphia newspaper recounted Mr. Belsnickel, his personal appearance dressed in skins and or old rags, his face black, a bell whip, and a pocket full of cakes or nuts. And either the cakes or the whip are bestowed upon those around. Back in the 19th century, it was popular for rowdy revelers to go belsnicking and get drunk, vandalize the city, and play pranks. I don't know about you, but that kind of sounds like a good time to me. That's kind of fun. Um, but yes, he's got a sack, he's got a whip, just like Krampus. So, with my German heritage, I'm kind of like, oh yeah. All right, so I don't want to go through all of these. Okay, so and this kind of leads us back. So Grilla, the mother of the Yule lads and the Yule lads. Okay, so I'll tell you what that says. The giant troll who is, well, she was an ogre or a troll, depending, but she was just very large. Grilla was. Who's in perpetually bad mood due to her insatiable hunger for children. Each Christmas, Grilla comes down from her mountain dwelling to hunt for naughty children. She places them into a sack and drags them back to her cave, where she boils them alive for her favorite stew. And then that leads us to the Yule lads, which they are. Okay, so this is a common theory that the Yule lads are represented in these seven doors. Um, the Yule lads are each named for a particular habit or characteristic, much like the Disney version of Snow White's Seven Dwarfs. Most of them are depicted as mischievous pranksters and petty criminals. Icelandic children were visited each night on the 13 days leading up to Christmas by a different Yule lad, including and then there's all of them that we talked about. Okay. And then the last one, in which I didn't have a picture to show you then, was the Yule cat. And that's the one that I'm currently using, is the Yule cat. Unlike the other Christmas monsters, this cat does not care about your misdeeds during the year. The only insurance against being torn apart and eaten by a giant feline receiving a new article of clothing for Christmas. Shop wisely. And it says new clothing. So they say new clothing, I say new to you clothing, because hand-me-downs and thrift shopping are just as good. I tried, as my cup said, but I did get a new shirt. We wish you a Merry Solstice. All right, so this comes to the last part, and we're closing down on the hour of the evening. It's divination time. So I am going to do a general reading, and then I'm going to flip the yes no coin. So if you have a question, Yes, no question, then the response from the coin is for you. But maybe the message that I get from the cards is a message that you need to hear. And this is the magical Nordic tarot. Like I said, we were talking about, Icelandic and Norse region um, traditions, so I thought it was only fitting to use this deck. I do not use it very often. And sometimes I do use the book because of, oh, I'm so frustrated right now. Okay, so I'm one of these readers that my cards have to be all a certain way, and these are not straightened out at all. So we're gonna go with it. I'm still gonna read it. So let's see what we get. First card up is the Five of Swords. This is represented by conflict. You see the word conflict down here at the bottom. So this is where we are at right now in our lives. This is the end of the year. There is a lot of uncertainty. We feel like we are in constant conflict in our lives right now. So, what are we going to do about it? The Ten of Swords. Don't worry. The five always represents change and transformation. What are we doing right now? We're using the labradorite. We're changing. We're transforming. Because the Ten of Swords is for completion. So while you are struggling and you're finding a lot of conflict within your life right now, it's okay because it's on its way to clear itself up. If only you have the strength and the courage to wait it out and be patient. Okay. Now, I do want to bring this up because we are talking about change and transformation in the journey. Mercury is currently in retrograde. There are a lot of planets that are in chaos play right now. So that's why this conflict is happening. And it is happening until December 31st. So we are actually going to be starting out the new year on a new path. Mercury will go direct on January 1st. And that's the one that a lot of people really focus on, is that one. So be prepared for that. I'm not saying that from now until the end of the year it's going to be pure chaos. No, 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 no. We are growing. We are dealing with the conflict. We are facing it. We are growing. Last card, the High Priestess. Empower. Empowerment is her card. So just know that your inner your inner self is telling you you can do this. You can be empowered and you can have everything that you want. All right. So that does it for the reading tonight. And if I slide this back in here, I will do the yes no coin. Okay. Yes. And no. The answer is no. So if you had a question, the response is no. Let me add to that. Take it as you will. No, things are not as bad as you think that they are. No, you are not going to be stuck in the rut that you are in right now. And no, what you are feeling right now is not permanent. It will get better. Okay. All right, everybody. That concludes tonight's episode of Under the Rowan Tree. I will be back again next week and we will talk about the different days of Yule. If you want to go ahead and get started on them, please feel free to go right ahead. You can talk about them with me next week. Um, if you tune in to Rowan Temple of Light or Lady Gwendolyn on YouTube, I can see your comments there and we can interact. Um, Follow, like, and subscribe, and wherever you are seeing this at. But I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful solstice, Mother's Night, Saturnalia, and beginning of Yule. You take care. Oh.